state your worst fear truthfully, for if you lie, no honor or peace after death awaits you. When the 10th person states their fear, we will send you to the realm.
The room went black, feeling of earthquakes in the dark, and the eldritch sounds of their reality being ripped to shreds terrified the friends as they all screamed in unison, the maddening ripping and quaking of space and time had ceased. They found themselves in a realm of true darkness, and then suddenly a light appeared. The only light that could be seen was shining in the near distance, beckoning them to it. They reached out for each other in the dark, calling out names and trying to hold hands as not to get separated. 9 friends were staying close together, but they couldn't find Lewis. Curious about the light in front of them, they all walked towards it in unison. As the friends got closer, they could hear a sound that threw them into a desperate panic and filled their hearts with even more fear. This place seemed to devour all sound, but as they drew nearer, they could hear his screams. Some friends separated from the group, and others held even tighter onto each other as they ran towards the unmistakable suffering screams and cries of Lewis. The light source was his body, nailed to a wooden cross and set ablaze. He was hopelessly bleeding profusely and burning alive. The traitor had realized his worst fear. Lewis was suffering an agonizing death. By the time the friends were able to reach the cross, his screams had died out, and so had Lewis. 9 friends remained. Everything is
What are you doing? Hey, what are you? Ow!
Everything is peaceful until you're gone.
They started freaking out. Some of them were hyperventilating, and several were screaming and crying. The smells of burning flesh and charred wood permeated the stale, oppressive air.
What the f*** is going on here? Who's doing this?
But just as he said these words, Sam let out another scream and started bawling her eyes out as she saw the lifeless body of Rob. His skull was caved in, lying face down just before the site of the cross. In a twisted sense of irony, he was killed before learning what had happened to Lewis. The thing that he had feared the most had come to pass. Rob had died before he could amount to anything. 8 friends remained. everyone ran towards Sam to see why she was screaming, George stayed behind to observe the scene. He thought he would be able to see the next murder take place, but the traitor had been training their whole life for this, and knew this realm like the back of their hand. The traitor stepped away from the group and quickly cloaked themselves with darkness before appearing directly behind George, all in one quick motion. They kissed him on the cheek, and then silenced him with a kiss on the lips as he turned around to make eye contact, while they stabbed a dagger into his back. As the breath left his lungs, they slipped back into the cover of darkness, bringing the corpse of George with them. His worst fear had been realized.